Good evening. I'd like to call the Village Board meeting for the Village of Cary for Tuesday, December 15, 2020 to order with roll call, please. But before we do the roll call, we do have a quorum of Village Board members in physical attendance at the meeting tonight. However, as authorized by the Illinois Open Meetings Act, Village Board members Cavelli, Kraus, and Weinhammer will be participating remotely due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Roll call, please.
Cavelli? Here. McAlpine?
Here.
Weinhammer? Here. Collier?
Here.
Betts?
Here.
Kraus?
Here.
Thank you. Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll move to the open forum where the public is invited to make an issue-oriented comment on any matter of public concern not otherwise on the agenda. I don't see anybody here that's going to, so I'm going to go ahead and close open forum at 6:01. A couple things on my mayor's report. Excitingly, we are recognizing Jim Holub and being with the police department for 1 year. Jim, do you want to meet me up front here, please? It just seems like we just stood here, right? What's going
You
on
did.
this time here, huh?
You did. It was just a year ago that
Well, we have a
we
very small
appoint
token of
him.
our appreciation. It's our 1 year pin that everybody gets here. This soon will be changing. We're going to go with our new, this new logo. We'll be reissuing these, but this has been around the village for many, many years, and we all received these when we had our first year of service to the village of Cary. So I'll give you that, and this is just a little something. But I'll turn it over to the chief. And,
Just a couple of things about James. Number one, he's been very active. He's participated in one of our traffic grants. He has expressed some interest in becoming a trainer in the department. So he's performing very well. He's been through some training in terms of testifying at a DUI trial and standardized field sobriety testing. He's been participating in our monthly trainings in regards to Police Law Institute and our Court Smart monthly lessons that we all pay for in my budget, so I just want to plug those things. And then and some of the in-house training that James has been attending is drug-induced homicide training that was presented by our State's Attorney's Office, cannabis DUI refresher that Sergeant Withrow presents. He's our drug recognition expert, so he has expertise in that. And then Greg Rutson, Sergeant Rutson, who is in the back, presented CPR and automated external defibrillation training to James as well, as in addition to the whole department. So James is halfway through his probationary period, and he's doing very well.
Great, thank you. What a great testament to our department that we've got a good majority of our men and women in blue supporting him, and we thank you very much for keeping us safe.
Let me say one more thing too, is James right now is assigned to midnight shift. I was a midnight shift police officer for years and then a sergeant for years. So I really do appreciate him being here because it's very it's very disruptive in regards to sleep cycle and things of that nature. So thank you very much for being coming here and being recognized.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Is there cake? Shoot, no cake. Thank you. Put this down.
That's good.
Switching gears on for something that we're so grateful that we have a wonderful police department, but I just wanted to mention that we lost a true Cary patriot this past week. Brett Coleman passed away this past Friday. It'll be a big loss for the village. As all of you that know him, he had owned Coleman's in the Park for what seems ever. He's been a great entrepreneur throughout McHenry County for many, many years. And he was a true friend to the village of Cary. He taught me a thing or two about being a mayor and collaborating with other restaurants and businesses. And when I first started this role, He petitioned the village for video gaming, which at that time, when I was a trustee, we turned it down. And when I became mayor, he approached us again and stood before the village board at that particular time, asking us to reconsider this. And I think that was one of the best things that we had done for our local businesses and things. And he was instrumental in driving our success. I think you would see him all around town. He was just a wonderful man. He was funny, had a great sense of humor. He was a true hero when it came to promoting the village of Cary. Many of those that have participated in the Mary Cary events would see him around, and also with our Main Street Fest, he was instrumental in our the steak fry. He was the one that was grilling, and he provided all the meat for us, and I was very fortunate enough to be able to participate in that. And he will be greatly missed, and we send our prayers and our thoughts out to his wife, Ann, and his children, that we'll be here for them. Anything that we can do for them to make their life a little bit easier when it comes to operating their business, we'll be happy to accommodate that. So one more thing also, I just wanted to give a shout out to Lynn Cacabello at the Cary Grove Chamber of Commerce. What an incredible job. At some points thankless for everything that happened with our Mary Cary, the reverse Mary Cary or turnaround, whatever it ended up calling it. We were calling it all different things, but in the planning processes of this, so we went back and forth if we were going to do it, and we decided that if we would get the blessing of the health department, we'd go ahead and do it. And Lynn got all her ducks lined up, got great businesses all excited about it, and they were very excited, and they just loved the idea of it. We had prayed and hoped for between 100 and 200 cars. Well, that day, I think Dale's was the official tab keeper. We had 634 cars come through in a matter of 2 hours and 30 minutes or so. So we exceeded our time frame from 1 to 3. We were still greeting cars at 1:30. Unfortunately, some of the cars had to be turned away. But that in itself is a true testament to what the spirit of the village of Cary is all about, that people just want to be around each other and do things for the greater good of everybody. And, we were one of the first trustee, McAlpine, Betts, and Collier were there with us in person too. So we were one of the first people that were greeted. Not one person complained about, some people had to wait an hour and a half in line. Not one person complained about it. They were just so excited to be part of it, laughing and having a good time. So I just wanted to give a shout out to the chamber. They are a big arm to our economic engine, supporting our small local businesses, and it doesn't go unnoticed at the hard work that goes in. So we are very thankful. So I will conclude with that. I was made aware of one thing from Trustee McAlpine about trustee reports, so I'll turn it over to you, Trustee.
Sure. I just wanted to once again remind everyone, kind of piggybacking again on the Chamber of Commerce, that the chamber is hosting the Keep the Cheer here. So spending your dollars here in Cary and submitting your receipts by Thursday. There's going to be drawings for some very wonderful prizes. But again, it just kind of piggybacks on what the mayor was stating, and helping our local businesses stay in business, keep them going, and getting some great prizes for people, presents and everything like that. So please remember to save your receipts and submit them by Thursday, this Thursday, to the chamber to be eligible for winning some prizes.
Thank you. And anybody else have anything they wanted to add during that? Okay, we'll go ahead and close that. Moving on to our consent agenda. I will entertain a motion to approve consent agenda items number 1 through 6 as shown on the village's website and is displayed on the video monitor during the village board meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Betts,
Yes.
Weinhammer, yes. Kraus,
Yes.
Cavelli,
Yes.
McAlpine,
Yes.
Collier,
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to items for separate action, we have 2 things tonight. One, it's never a fun topic to talk about, but we're going to go ahead and throw it out there anyway. I will entertain a motion to approve an ordinance authorizing the addition of the new growth of $8,190, resulting in an annual real estate levy for the next tax year 2020 in the amount of $2,540,040.
So moved.
Second.
Just before we get going and opening up to any questions or the actual vote on this, I just want to reiterate that we don't take these types of additions lightly. We look at things in a realistic time frame and manner. The actual $190 does not have a negative impact on the regular homeowners right now with their tax bill. It will not raise their taxes. We have decided as a group that we weren't even going to entertain the CPI increase, which would have impacted some of our residents about $7 to $10, I think, per year. So, or maybe in both of those months, the payment time period. But these are things that the village is very aware of, that we try to keep our tax levy as lean as possible. We are entering into some very interesting times. These are things that no board has ever seen in the lifetime here. And so we have to be very cognizant of the amount of money that we ask our residents to contribute. And we will continue to make the good, wise decisions that this board has always brought forth here too. But I just wanted to throw that out there just so everybody has an understanding about what we're doing. So I will ask Michael if there's anything that he would like to add before we go to a roll call on this, please.
I'd just add a couple quick things here, Mayor.
Okay.
If someone could mute their, I guess before we continue, if someone could mute their background, their volume. Thank you. At the Committee of the Whole meeting on November 17th, we had good discussion here regarding the options before the village board. We had various opinions. I think we had multiple opinions on how we wanted to proceed, and we have those same options here that are before the village board. We can keep the extension the same as last year. We can accept the new growth, which is the option that is being recommended by village staff. We can take the consumer price index, or we can take a combination of the consumer price index and the new growth. Village staff, as we talked about during the Committee of the Whole meeting, we are recommending that we take the new growth option. Obviously, the board is aware of the increases that we see year over year in our contribution to our police pension fund. Again, that is not a unique issue to the village of Cary at all. Communities all over the state are seeing that. With that said, though, we recognize that, as the mayor was pointing out here, we want to be good stewards of our taxpayers' dollars. And this has been a tough year. The COVID-19 pandemic has impacted a lot of our residents, which is why we want to try to find that middle ground, understand that we still have costs that we're going to incur, and staff is recommending that new growth option. So Finance Director Descharmes is on the call here if there's any questions from the village board.
Does anybody have any questions for Director Descharmes?
I do not.
Anybody on Zoom have any questions for Mr. Descharmes? No? Okay, roll call, please.
Kraus,
Yes.
Gelfine,
Yes.
Collier,
Yes.
Weinhammer. No. Cavelli,
No.
Betts,
Yes.
Okay, thank you. One more thing that's on a much better note here. I will I got to read this whole thing, huh? Bear with me. There
We got to work for the
four
money,
different
right?
aspects to this. I forgot to mention that yesterday when we were going through that. Okay, I will entertain a motion to approve a resolution 1 authorizing the mayor to execute a grant agreement with the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity for the Village of Cary Local Business Relief Grant Program for $500,000. Number 2, authorizing the village's local share to contribute to the program in the amount up to $100,000. Number 3, authorizing the establishment and implementation of the Village of Cary Local Business Relief Grant Program. And number 4, authorizing and directing the village administrator to prepare and execute any additional documentation to implement the grant monies provided under the agreement, along with the funds allocated by the village to initiate and establish the Local Business Relief Grant Program, otherwise known as program, and to take such further steps as are necessary to effectively implement the operation of the program and allocation and use of funds for program purposes consistent with the agreement and with the local goal to provide financial assistance to the greatest number of local businesses through the program.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Jake, did you want to start this off?
Yeah, absolutely. Mayor, Village Board, we're really excited to be able to announce this program pending your approval. Once the village staff became aware that there were funds available through the state, we moved quickly. I appreciate all the work, especially Brian Simmons and Courtney Sage, their work in moving ever so swiftly to be able to get our application in and be awarded these funds. We are, as the mayor said, being awarded $500,000 here with a local share, our contribution of $100,000 for a program for sales tax generating businesses of up to $600,000. We made a slight modification here, which Director Simmons will go over. I think that we have a slide just to talk about the matrix. But before the members that are here right now, we have the updated application before you. The updated application then was emailed out to all village board members. The change that we made, and we'll talk about it here, Director Simmons will go over that, is in the grant funding matrix. So what we initially had submitted to the state, obviously we want this to be the best program that it can be. We did some tables and calculations and felt that it was appropriate to make some minor tweaks that you'll see in the matrix. So I'll turn it over to Brian, and he can go over that matrix for the village board.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jake. Eric, if you can advance the agenda through the slide. It's in the agenda. There. Thank you. So a little background on the impact that COVID is having on businesses. This slide shows a survey that was done by the National Restaurant Association back in November, and they surveyed over 6,000 restaurants in the country, focusing on what the impact on their sales is from 2019 to 2020. So they looked at what their sales were in October of both of those years, and then had the businesses report on what the impact has been. So the first column you can see is the percent of operators that are reported higher sales this year compared to last year, which is roughly 1 in 10 businesses had seen growth. The majority of that growth is in the area of limited service restaurants, so more fast casual, fast food type restaurants, coffee shops. They've seen an uptick in their activities, but most full service restaurants have either seen a decline or a very slight increase. The second column you can see are those that reported lower income or business sales compared to last year, where 8 in 10 restaurants across the country have reported a decrease in sales, and 9 out of 10 full service restaurants have seen significant decrease in their sales as well. The final column you can see is the average decline in sales for those types of businesses, where full service restaurants have seen over a 36% decrease in activity at the restaurants compared from October to October of last year to this year. And limited service restaurants have a little bit more stable, but have seen a decrease as well of negative 20%. During that survey, the businesses also did identify that they anticipate over the next 3 months that their operations will continue to decline with the limitations on outdoor dining or indoor dining, and the weather not permitting outdoor dining. All those businesses anticipate that their sales will continue to decline over the winter months. And also within the survey, approximately 60% of the operators that responded indicated that their labor costs for the past year actually have gone up as a percentage of their sales or operations. So they were getting hit on two sides of the story, if you will, from a decrease in revenue coming in, but also an uptick in their costs to operate the business. So with this information, if we advance to the next slide, it got to the information where we were to, with the grant program, table it in a way that would better serve the businesses within the Village of Cary, specifically looking at businesses that may be on the higher end of the revenue loss perspective, wanted to provide the most bang for the buck from the grant perspective that can go to those businesses. So the metrics that was in the original petition that was forwarded out to the board had a higher percentage for revenue loss for the higher column on the right-hand side of this table. That has been lowered to be more consistent with both that survey that was just referenced, but also some information that we did glean from a couple of businesses in town to confirm that they were in fact in that same ballpark. So this table revises that for businesses that have a 30% or greater loss would be able to be eligible for $20,000 in grant if they have revenue of over $200,000, and then scale that down backwards for lower percentages of loss. The eligibility criteria that this program would be eligible for businesses would be any businesses within the Village of Cary that are sales tax revenue generating, that would have taxable sales below a total $4 million annual threshold, and that it would generate walk-in traffic. So home-based business operations, a non-retail type operation would not be eligible for the business or for the grant, but also would be focusing on more of the mom and pop operations, if you will, that are more locally grown. So franchises and businesses with more than 4 locations across either the region or the country would not be eligible for the grant program as derived here. Again, if businesses would participate in the program, they would, one of the criteria is that they would work to remain open for at least 6 months after receipt of the award. And then there's certain criteria from the state that they would have to adhere to as well, as from an operational standpoint. If approved this evening, the village will be advertising the program in very short order. But tomorrow we'll start getting the word out from that perspective, with applications to be accepted beginning on December 28th, with the first round to be, or a deadline for submittal of January 8th for review. Staff will review the applications for compliance with the program, and then we'll disperse any grant funds out to the businesses from there. In general, time is of the essence with this program. The state award requires us to spend any of the grant funds by the end of January. So it's a very quick turnaround. If approved this evening, we'll relay that information to the businesses and start taking applications as soon as possible. I'll be happy to answer any questions that the board may have regarding the program or dissemination of information from there.
I have a question. Who's requiring or must remain open for 6 months, and what happens if they're not?
Well,
So that's a requirement from the state as part of the application process, that if they're receiving grants, that they will work to try to stay open. So there are, the ability to recapture those funds if that does not take place. So a business cannot apply for the grant, receive an award, and then close the next week. They have to work to remain in business in order to receive the grant funds.
it could be a challenge.
Yeah.
It's challenging.
It's an enforcement issue from the grant perspective,
Yeah.
but
That's what I was wondering.
that's
Okay.
one of the parameters that they'll
That the state set forward?
have
Yes,
to renote.
Okay.
yeah, that could be a challenge to get money back. Say someone just up and leaves in the middle of the night, and you have to try to track them down and get anywhere from $2,500 to $20,000 back. So, these programs aren't perfect, but as you can see, the changes that we're making, we're trying to make this the best program that we can have here.
Right.
There's requirements that the state puts in here too, since this is obviously money that's coming from the state and
Right.
DCO. So,
Jake, one of the things, that if you or Brian want to explain, I would love for someone to just explain, I know we talked about it, but just what are the methods that we're going to use to disseminate this information so all
Oh,
of the
absolutely.
applicable businesses are aware of it, just in case they're not on Facebook or they're not doing these other things. You and I chatted about it.
Yep.
I'd like that just to be part of this discussion here.
Yep. Thank you for that. Well, first of all, I mean, we will be hitting all of our media channels, so the Cary News Weekly, Facebook, the website, send out a press release. But in addition to that, what we're looking at right now, Director Simmons and I say, for example, we take different parts of the town, get this directly to those businesses that are eligible for this. If there are board members that want to help out, we'll welcome that, but this is going to be done tomorrow. So you need to contact me ASAP if you're interested in helping out to get this information out. Our plan is to take probably the first 4 pages of the application, get that out to the businesses so that everyone's getting this immediately. You heard Director Simmons talk about, time is of the essence. It really is with this. There's a deadline from the state that we have to get this money all expended by a certain amount of time. So I think that is actually good news, because I think our businesses are going to want to get this ASAP. So we've got, to answer your question, Trustee Milk-Alpine, we've got various ways that we're going to be getting this out, just electronically, but then just directly to the businesses.
I also want to just commend the entire staff, Brian, Jake, everyone that worked on this, Courtney, whoever's working on this. I think that, talk about getting something together very quickly to help our businesses as quickly as this was available for us. I think that everyone needs to be commended on a great job. The intent of this is to help our local businesses and that are generating sales tax revenue for us. And I'm thrilled that we were able to be awarded this, and all the hard work that went into it, I'm very appreciative of.
Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, I do have a question for Brian or Jake. So in eligible businesses, it says auto service. Is that directed from the state?
We included that since it is directly related to sales tax generating businesses. That was a decision that we made locally.
It just, in my thinking, I'm thinking that, a lot of people aren't driving right now. And so the auto service, mom and pop stores are probably hurting as well. So can you kind of explain that to me with regard to sales tax revenue then, please?
Well, we purely took the program and modeled the program to be sales tax generating businesses. If the board feels strongly about auto service businesses, we can certainly talk about that. Please keep in mind that, there's a cap, there's $600,000. That's the max. This is first come, first served, too. So some folks may miss out. We don't know we have an idea of how many businesses are eligible for this. We don't know how many are going to apply for it. So the board wants to talk about auto service uses. Certainly that's a policy decision here for the village board.
That's something I would like to include. I just think about the businesses, the mom and pop ones that are here that are doing, auto service or auto repair or oil changes and things like that. And I know that they have to be hurting as well. So I would like to include them if everybody else is on board with that.
Anybody else thoughts on that?
What did some of the other communities, because we kind of modeled some of this after some of the other communities, did they include things like that? Or what did these other communities come up with in the intent, the spirit of what this was?
Brian, you still on the call?
Yes, yeah. Sorry, I was looking for another document here. So from a the model perspective, what we have here is kind of mirrored after what other communities have done. A lot of the communities that we've looked at have focused mainly on restaurant uses, where the retailers, in some cases, have not been included. Auto service as well have not been included in some of the other programs that I looked at. So it's not to say that we might not be able to also provide assistance to those establishments. It was just from a walk-in traffic perspective is generally having customers walk into the facility to purchase items, whether it be food or retail merchandise, was more of the focus as opposed to more medical, professional, or other type of service uses that wouldn't have as much walk-in traffic. But certainly, if the board wanted to include auto service operations as part of that, there are some operations in the community that may generate some sales tax to the village as well. It would provide more competition amongst the eligible businesses that may still be able to apply.
And did you do a calculation of approximately if everybody did apply? I know you don't know for sure, but you had to use some rough numbers on this. What do you think if everyone that we think is eligible for it were to apply, what do we think we'd come in with? Do we have any rough idea of numbers?
Yeah, so I've looked at what tax businesses have generated in the past, and it's kind of assumed the worst case scenario. So if everybody came in and was in that third column as far as the maximum revenue lost, we would be able to assist approximately 40 businesses with that level. And they're from the total grant funds and our funds together is $600,000. But with all those businesses coming into the worst case scenario, that number is closer to 700,000. So there may be, if some businesses actually may have done better during this time period, if their sales may have increased, they may not be eligible for the program. But just assuming that everybody is in, has had a decrease, there will potentially be funds that would still be not available or not enough funds to cover that worst case scenario if that is indeed the case.
That number, Director Simmons, is without any auto service numbers in there, correct? That's six.
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the 660,000 that I'm estimating does not include the auto service type industry at this point.
So an option here, not to muddy the waters, but certainly the board, as I said, it's just a policy decision. If you want to add auto service, we could add auto service. Another option to consider is that with the motion here, there is authority for the village administrator to make changes. And if we want to see how this rolls out and say there's still dollars left, then maybe we open it up after that first wave to the auto service businesses.
Do we have, I see the date that we're kind of starting on here, and I didn't read through every fine detail. Is there a deadline when it's due? I know it's first come, first serve, but couldn't we set it up?
There's a soft deadline of January 8th
December 28th through January 8th?
to
Right.
submit.
So couldn't we get to that point and see where we're at and then
Correct.
open it up?
That's
the
what-
rest, is
yeah.
what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying, is that, we see how that first wave goes, because we don't know.
But in that aspect, we have to make sure we contact everyone.
Yes.
Right,
We
another-
kind of want face-to-face at some point here with everybody that's eligible, correct?
Yeah, our plan tomorrow is to go out and get this in front of businesses, so.
Sure.
Or you could add the auto service up front, and again, this is first come, first served, and
And that'll be stressed, great. I can help tomorrow.
you got to be
At
on your
some point.
toes.
Yeah, you just have to, some people get overwhelmed with filling out these forms.
It's pretty simple.
I know, are we offering help with them or are they on their own?
They can call us if they have
We
questions.
can offer help to them.
Yeah.
No question.
Because some of it is daunting at points for some of this stuff.
Well, just to kind of get back to Trustee Weinhammer's suggestion about autos, their primary source of income is service-based. They do generate some sales tax, but a majority of the auto stores are generating service tax. The spirit of this is to get to the people that need it more, that are retail-based, that if they don't sell anything, they don't make any money, and it generates the sales tax that comes back to the entire community that benefits them. I would like to see us go with the spirit of this in dealing with the regional COVID things that I've been working with and working with other mayors. A lot of them have just been highlighting restaurants, and we opened it up to some of the smaller retails that we feel would be much more beneficial to we have to tailor this to what we need and what is good for us. And we do have a lot of our smaller owned restaurants, our smaller owned retail operations that would, I think, benefit from this greatly. And if there's a surplus at the end of it, I would have no problem with opening it up to some of these other aspects. But I think the spirit of this was written for the local retail sales tax generating with the walk-in traffic. So I'm interested to hear what everybody else has to say about that. Does everybody want to add auto service, or do you want to exclude it, or whatever? I'm open for suggestions.
I'd like to wait until January and see where they stand, where we stand with money.
Yeah, I'd like to
Well,
push hard tomorrow.
this is Trustee Weinhammer speaking. My belief is that it's going to fall into a category of less than 15%, 15 to 30%, or greater than 30% loss. So if an auto service business on a non-service item that is generating sales tax for tires, whatnot, has a revenue loss of one of those three items, I think that they should also be eligible, especially since we're going to go ahead and allow it to go to retail as well. If they're able to prove it, I think they should be open to being able to fill out an application for it.
Understood. Trustee McAlpine?
I understand, and I hear what Trustee Weinhammer is saying. I feel that the spirit of this was really meant for retail sales, and I would like to go with the approach that Trustee Collier and Trustee Betts had said, what Village Administrator Reif had said, that he has the ability, if come January 8th, we've not been able to fulfill these funds, then we open it up and we still would have time to get that administered and get them funds. But I think we're trying to go with the pecking order of who we are looking to get this money for directly. So I would prefer going that route and then keeping that as a secondary. And if we have extra money, then by all means including them.
I would, at this point, I mean, it's the 15th today. I would like to move the date up before the end of the year then, if we're going to do that. People need the money now. They're going to fill out the thing quickly. If we can get to everybody quickly and see where we stand.
Well, since, if I could add, since it's first come, first serve, we're trying to make this a level playing field for everyone. So our vision is that we roll the program out tomorrow, and then businesses, we got the holidays too, so that businesses have whatever that is, 12 days. The first day that they can submit their application is on the 28th. Not all businesses have the resources to put this together. Some may be on vacation for the holidays or whatnot. So that 28th is when you get your application in, and then we'll start the review and we'll see where we're at. And they'll be date stamped from there, so.
So you'll date stamp them and time stamp them, so this is first, this was second, how it all came in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to
That's
take
our
some
initial
staff time
plan.
to.
Right, I just want to make sure that everyone knows when it's coming out that this is how at least will be monitored, so everyone feels that it's fair. You know, they may know, hey, I submitted it on the 29th and I was the 18th applicant, and everyone's going to, know where they're in the pecking order, so to speak.
I mean, we get it rolled out, and tomorrow, the 16th.
Yeah.
Business days, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if you count Christmas Eve, that's 6 business days.
It's quick.
It is quick.
And then they, Monday morning, I mean, I don't know if there's going to be a line. We really don't know what to expect with it.
Are these going to have to be turned in person at Village Hall?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
That's the only way to, right?
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
monitor who's first and time
Right,
stamp
right.
and date stamp.
Yeah, I believe that was our plan.
This is Trustee Weinhammer again. So I just want to reiterate that I'd like it to be more fair for majority of the businesses who do have a revenue loss. So again, that's why I am advocating for auto services to also be included. Everybody else gets to have an opinion on it, but I'm just voicing mine.
Thank you. Trustee Cavelli or Trustee Kraus, do you have a comment?
I do. This is Trustee Cavelli. I do agree with Trustee Weinhammer. I think that all businesses that fall under this carry sales tax revenue generating should be eligible. I don't like being in the business of saying your business is more important than the other business. I think that when you get into you're essential and you're not essential, especially for the small business owners, I don't think that's our obligation. I think everyone should have that same opportunity. So I would like to see a bit wider. That's one point. And then the other one is a question, and Jake, maybe you can help answer this for me. So with the $100,000 contribution from the village, will that come out of this year's budget?
Yeah, that's going to come out of our capital projects fund, and that will be funded out of this year because we're planning for that money to go out the door this fiscal year. We didn't budget for that because we didn't foresee that there would be money available from the state. So obviously, this is a good investment for us to be able to expend $100,000 to get $500,000 from the state. So
I do agree with you on that. I'm just wondering, is there a capital project that will be foregoing then as a result of that?
no, there isn't. We'll see how the balance in the capital projects fund, as the board is aware, there's not a significant amount of fund balance. If we need to, we do a interfund transfer from the general fund to cover that amount. As the board is aware, we heard Finance Director Descharmes at our meeting here a few committee of the whole meetings ago, give an update on our 6-month budget review. And due to the money that we're getting from the state through the CARES Act, around $750,000 from the state, we were expecting right now, halfway through the budget year, to have about a $200,000 surplus. So we do see that potentially it could be a transfer from the general fund, and it could include some of that surplus.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Kraus, any comments?
Yeah, I have a comment about the auto service. I know in the past I bought a tire from that auto place that's downtown across from the train station, next to the old Kojak's. And I looked them up online, and then I walked in there and bought my tire from them. So if they're offering a service and generating sales tax revenue, I think they ought to be included too. Kind of like what Trustee Cavelli said, if it's a sales tax generating business, it should be open to them too.
Is that the only end we potentially are leaving out, is the auto service on that sales tax generating?
Yeah, I was just going to say, what other businesses do we have in town that would be, I can understand if we included the auto service industry, we would have to carve out what the retail sales tax part of that would be, obviously, because the majority of their sales are service-based,
Right,
which
they
is not taxed.
They have to track that. I mean,
They have to
same
track
kind of
it.
business
Right.
service,
File their
it's
quarterly.
So
easy.
I would think that would be,
I'm fine including them then also.
Right, if that they can,
We could, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
why don't we go ahead and do that, and we'll carve out the auto service that for their retail sales tax generating a portion of their business.
Did you get that, Brian? We're including the auto service businesses?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can add to the list, and then it's, as the applications come in, we can review those against those.
Yeah, not a problem at all.
Good conversation. Okay, any other comments regarding this? Again, just to echo what Trustee McAlpine had said, thank you very much to the staff. It was like a tornado around here for the first couple of days when Jake and I were sitting in his office, we're talking about this, and my gosh, it was like a fury of things going on. And we have a top-notch staff working on our best behalf all the time. I want people to understand that. It's important that we have people that are looking out for the best interests of all the people in the village of Cary. And this is a wonderful opportunity. Some other larger communities didn't get $500,000, but we were able to justify that. And I think it's a testament to the vision that this board and our staff has when it comes down to dealing with this pandemic. These are uncertain times. We have no idea what's going to happen next year. I know there's a lot of people wishing for 2020 to end quickly, and it seems to be coming pretty quick. So thank you again, Jake, and your team, the department heads for helping us out on this. We greatly appreciate it. Roll call, please, Courtney.
Weinhammer,
Yes.
Kraus,
Yes.
McAlpine,
Yes.
Betts,
yes.
Cavelli,
Yes.
Collier,
Yes.
Thank you. Moving to administrator's report, Jacob.
I don't think I have anything,
You
Mayor.
want to talk about this? Or is that an internal?
Nuh-uh.
Okay, we don't have to talk.
I guess I would like to wish everyone a happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Stay safe, be safe, and enjoy your time with your family.
What I was nudging Jake about is they've prepared a media release to go out first thing tomorrow morning, or maybe tonight even. I don't know. But now acknowledging this and the great efforts of the village that got this done. So good opportunity here. Department head reports. Chief Finland, do you have anything for us? Since I don't have everybody in front of me, Director Morimoto, anything for us?
This is your last chance, last reminder.
Parking.
You will
I
get
will
tickets.
stop talking about it soon, but yes, one last reminder, winter parking restrictions are in effect as that tis the season. So please keep that in mind for the residents and the public. And another reminder, we have recently temporarily closed some of our Metro commuter lots. There's still plenty of spaces available for current demand. The map on the screen now shows our recent press release showing which lots are still currently open and available for use. That's all we have. Thank you.
Director Simmons,
No further updates this evening, Mayor.
Director Ducharme,
Gone.
long gone. Mr. Galina.
Once it was done, his issue was done, check.
Oh, he's there.
But I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays.
You
Thank you,
too.
Michael.
Thanks, Mike.
Are there any
Thank
future
you.
agendas and discussion by the village board?
Other than I can help tomorrow get out the application.
Okay, great. And then from this side, wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Everybody be
Yes.
safe and healthy. Greatly appreciate everybody's efforts this past year. It's been interesting. Let's hope that we have a much better 2021, that we continue to be prosperous and bring new things. A lot of good things happening here in the village of Cary right now, and one of them is happening at the corner of Georgetown and Industrial Drive. People forget about that.
It's getting there.
But that's a great opportunity for us to showcase what we're all about at no additional charge, no additional taxes to the village. So, okay, I will entertain a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please, Courtney.
All right. Find the mute button. Betts,
Yes.
Collier,
Yes.
McAlpine,
Yes?
Kraus,
Yes.
Weinhammer,
Yes.
Cavelli.
Yes.
Thank you. We are adjourned.